Hey class, Mr. Usher here, rocking my November apparel. Go blue. Anyway, doing a recorded lesson for you guys for today, April 1st, 2022, April Fool's Day. So yeah, this lesson is going to be about giant chocolate brownies and dragons that fart rainbows. April Fools. Anyway, so basically this lesson is actually going to be about, as it says here, advances in mental health treatment, particularly kind of technological and biomedical or pharmacological advances. So this is going to be like medicines that affect your mind and kind of change mood and behavior, and also technological advancements, things that are going to affect the brain and change the behavior by doing that. So that's what we're focusing on today. Just so you know, for this one, there is a DIN, but not a ticket out the door. We had another activity in lieu of a ticket out the door. For the DIN, it was basically just kind of a recap of the 3 days previous to this one. So we covered the psychodynamic theory. We covered the humanistic approach to psychotherapy. We covered the cognitive behavioral approach to psychotherapy. 4 questions, multiple choice, kind of going over that stuff. If you were paying attention to those lessons, you should be fine. Anyway, after that, we get into a video, another one, courtesy of our friends at Crash Course Psychology. I really appreciate them, as you can probably tell. Basically, this one is on biomedical treatments. Just so you're, just in case you're curious, I only actually had the class watched from about, roughly like 4.5 minutes on. If you want to watch the whole video, you can, but you're also welcome to just start the video at about 4.5 minutes, and then it'll get into the stuff, right? Anyway, so we had that video. Maybe had a little bit of discussion if people were really interested. The video basically covers different medicines for anxiety, depression, psychosis, which is when you have a break from reality, and mood, like stabilizing mood, right? And then it goes into some technological advances, right? So electroshock therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation, I can't remember the term for it right now, actually, but essentially there's another one implanting an implant in your brain that sends regular electric pulses in order to stimulate different parts of the brain. Some really cool stuff, I think, kind of far out stuff. Anyway, after that, we had a debate period, or I tried to encourage a debate period with students. Some students bit a little bit more than others. Not to rub salt in the wound here, but for those of you who weren't there, there was a prize kind of for this. In this case, because the quarter is coming to an end, the prize for the winner of the debate was essentially to have one of their zeros kind of erased, essentially. So if you, say, had an assignment on there that was 12 points, right? Maybe one of the DINs or ticket out the doors, and you currently have a 0 for it, I'll be like, okay, now it's a 12 out of 12, right? I'll just do that for 1. I'm not going to upend your whole grade and give you, an A+ just for winning one debate, unfortunately. But, yeah. Anyway, the conditions for that, though, were a little restricted, right? So if we go to this document here, Pharmacotherapy Debate 2022, we point out what I had planned for kind of like time budgeting. We didn't quite get that, which, seemed to make sense because I don't think any of you were really going to talk for 10 minutes about your opinions for or against, using medicines, pills, and that kind of thing to treat mental illnesses. Most people had 2, maybe 3 minutes that they could get through. But the important thing was there are rules, right? Contrary to what some of my students believed, a debate is not just 2 people yelling at each other about their opinions until one gives up. That's not a good debate. It's just like a loud argument. So I had 3 basic rules here. 1, stay on topic. Be serious, right? If you're arguing pro-pharmaceuticals, then, give arguments as to why you think people should use pharmaceuticals to treat mental illness. If you're arguing con, give arguments against that, right? Stay on topic, stay serious. That's rule 1. Rule 2, speak only during your allotted time, right? So we didn't stick exactly to these, but people got different time. Usually it was like, 3 minutes for an opening statement, 2 minutes for a rebuttal, that kind of a thing. So if it's, student A's turn, right, to give their opening statement, student A is talking, nobody else should be talking, especially student B. Then things get switched, and the same rules apply in reverse, right? Finally, number 3, we want to generally discourage fallacies, right? We've talked about fallacies and how they kind of impede our rational cognition, how they keep our reasoning from being fully logical, right? But in particular, there is a strict rule against ad hominem attacks. So this is, as I say here, attacking your opponent personally rather than critiquing their ideas, right? It is strictly forbidden. Anyway, so basically how it worked was the two debaters that I picked, and some classes I actually was able to get a couple of pairs, right? But the two debaters I picked, they would both start with 5 points, so 5 over here, 5 over here. And what would happen is every time I identified a particular argument that was well articulated, right? They basically said, like, we should use psychopharmaceuticals to treat mental illness because blank, 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 period. Or we should not use psychopharmaceuticals to treat mental illness because blank, 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 period. Every time I saw one of those, you get 1 additional point. However, every time you violate one of these rules, right, you lose a point, right? So we had these, right, and the idea was you could go up to 10 with these, right? If both people got to 10 and stayed at 10 at the end, they would actually both get it. I had that in a couple of cases. But, you could also go down to 0, and then, you'd probably lose. Anyway, that's basically how it worked. And so I'm going to be giving those out to the students who won those. So to the students that actually won those debates, applause. Good work. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that was essentially it for the class, right? We did not have, like I said, a normal ticket out the door. I said kind of use this as an evaluation. So that is essentially the lesson, right? We are finished with doing different kinds of therapy, like exploring the basic philosophies of different kinds of therapy. And next week we'll move on to mood disorders. In a very simple sense, disorders that make us incredibly sad and maybe worse. But anyway, I will see you on Monday to discuss that. Bye.